Can you hear me? I don't wanna hear myself tonight. Yes, sometimes I fight so many battles that you'll never see. And I know you've been fighting too, just like me. There's no place we can go where our hearts stay whole. Heroes in the sky don't have to fly so high. We feel you every day, you're never far away. Heroes in the sky, your love still gets us by. We carry on your name, you're not so far away. Empty chairs and folded flags remain, but your love still runs through our veins. We tell the stories, keep the flame alive. You gave us reason to survive, and though we miss your touch, your spirit lifts us up. Heroes in the sky don't have to fly so high. We feel you every day, you're never far away. Heroes in the sky, your love still gets us by. We carry on your name, you're not so far away. Well, hold the line, we'll stand for you, for every soul that wore the truth, to every heart still left behind. You're the reason we keep time. The wives, the sons, the daughters cry, but strength is.
One thing I tell you that this challenge done taught me is just taking everything step by step. You look up that damn hill, seems like it's gonna take forever to get up there. But if you just look at a 45-degree angle, instead of looking straight up, taking one step at a time, keeping your same pace, not worrying about what's going on to your left or your right, promise you, you'll be up before you know it. Hey, we on day what? It's 6. Nothing but 19 more to go. Can't wait. Let's go.
Welcome in, everybody.
Welcome.
I get every time I hear his. In case you're listening, the last voice at the end of that video is the voice of D'Angelo, our co-founder, and that was one of the last videos we have of him before he was murdered and taken from us. So having his voice in there kind of sends me back a little bit, but it's good to honor him and show what he helped me start. So, but tonight we have, as always, Shawn, what the one half of the dynamic duo,
Twinsies, kind of.
right?
Although you shaved your beard a little bit.
No, I trimmed it. So my wife said I looked homeless. So I trimmed it. And then we have Janaea Hunter. And so you're going to learn a lot more about who she is and the organization she represents and her reasons why, as we get into this. But she's a fantastic person who could have given up a long time ago and didn't. And she continues to do great things. So welcome in, Janaea.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Before we get started, I'm going to go into the sponsors just real quick, thanking those that made this possible for us. But before I do that, I always read one of the disclaimers that if you watch the video, the opening video, you watched it about the disclaimer. But just for legalities, we want to make sure that we put this out there. So this podcast and live media series discusses mental health, traumatic loss, and suicide, which can be heavy and triggering topics. Heroes in the Sky Foundation, Nautical Salute, WalkForVets.org, Combat Kitchen, and all the guests on this show and its co-host are not licensed mental health professionals. And nothing you hear should be taken as medical counseling or legal advice. We are only sharing stories, education, and lived experiences for peer support and awareness only. If you or someone you love is in crisis or thinking about suicide, please do not wait. In the United States, you can call 988 or you reach out to the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline or dial 911 if you know someone that's an immediate emergency. If you're listening outside the U.S., please contact your local emergency number or suicide prevention right away. You are not alone. Help is available, and your life matters. So we just want to thank our sponsors, the American Legion Post 135, as always. They're our title sponsor this year. American Legion Post 135 is located in historic downtown Savannah, Georgia, at 1108 Bull Street. They're a member of the largest veteran service organization in the nation. They were founded on the principles of service to our veterans and to our community, state, and nation. Their membership is open to any veteran who has served honorably and to active duty service members. They are home to the local 1110, Betty Bombers, Brighter Day, Centennial Bean, and Lee Chai, and their bar is open to the public. They also hold several events in their ballroom each year that is open to the public. So here's the best thing. If you're in or around Savannah or you want a great event space to host an event, contact our friends at the American Legion and tell them your friends from Heroes in the Sky sent you, because it is available for rent and it's a beautiful ballroom. So go check them out. So
I tell you real quick before we get into this, the disclaimer, one thing that you said that I just had an epiphany about, and I think it'd be really fantastic, law enforcement, right? If people who are in active crisis and do call, 911 for assistance and stuff, I think it'd be great at some point to get some of those police and first responders who receive some of those calls to maybe get some advice to people who may be listening, who they do decide to call. What do they tell them? Like, hey, I'm a veteran. Like, I think that would be something that would be worth to explore and maybe see how their departments and stuff respond to that.
So glad you said that. On Thursday, September 24th, we have a special guest joining us who happens to be a career law enforcement officer, works as a school resource officer, and has served in multiple police and law enforcement agencies throughout his career. So I'm not saying we can't arrange anything before that, but we do have a special guest coming September 24th.
That's fantastic. So I think for that guest, I think we need to highlight, what's the best way for a veteran who's seeking help like that to respond, because we've also all seen in the news sometimes, a veteran does reach out, but then things go awry, right? And I think it would be very helpful. So
now, another good thing we could always do too is Josh with Mission Phoenix. That's that's in his wheelhouse. He does train police officers to deal with veteran interactions with post-traumatic stress, and his story is unique as well. I'll let him tell his story when it's time, but we could always reach out to him and have him do like a 3 to 4 minute video of exactly what you're talking about. In the event you're in an emergency and you need help, and this is what you tell, this is what, when you call for law enforcement, or this is how you respond to law enforcement. He'll have all that information. So I think before we start the next one, I'll have a 3 to 4 minute video from him, so we could play it for the guests, so you can watch it, so you can see exactly from an expert's point of view, because he's got the hours in research of exactly how to handle that situation. So I'm glad you said that.
Take the stage away from Janaea. I just wanted in tonight's topic, but those key pieces of when it pops up and you're actually just deep diving in yourself, like, what would I do? In that situation where I'm having those ideations and those thoughts, and I want help. Maybe I don't want to call, the helpline, but maybe I just end up just naturally dialing 911. What do I do? And I think that's going to be something to explore, and, things to say, things not to say. So that way you get the best help versus certain responses.
Right.
I think also teaching families how to help their veteran would be huge, because you see them do things and you don't know how to help them.
Yeah.
You don't know if you're going to say the wrong thing or.
Yeah.
That's true. And if, and there's certain families, and we'll let you tell a little bit of your story, but there's certain families that understand this way too well, that um that it really does hit home, and it's really important. So absolutely, we need that. We as much education as we can put out, and for people to hear before the event happens.
Yeah.
Not a reaction, not a reaction. It needs to be more preventative.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
and so showing people what they need to do or what to expect before these traumatic situations happen is key here.
To
I
keep them
mean,
from spiraling.
Yeah.
So I think we might adjust a little bit here in this first part, because what we've got kind of going right now actually is kind of a very, very important. It does tie into everything that we're talking about tonight, but
Yeah.
Things that I think about, having been the battle buddy, right, and having lost battle buddies that I served with closely, as well as friends and
Right.
outside of the military. Like, I
Yeah.
have an idea that might just be good, and we're gonna have to talk to Mission Phoenix about a little workshop in November potentially.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we were supposed to do an event like that in September, but it just didn't align this year. And Heroes in the Sky and Mission Phoenix were going to come together, and it was going to be the Invisible Wounds Forum. And we weren't able to get the logistics and the resources exactly right with planning and with just things going on in people's personal lives. But it's something that we definitely need to dedicate some time to and make it happen. And all I'm going to say right now is our audio engineer is, you can't see him, but he's in here.
He's down below. I was like,
yeah, yeah. The man that with all the buttons and yeah, he's back. So good.
He's feeling under the weather, but you know what? My man showed up.
Yeah, he did. That's awesome. So let's continue this topic, because I think this is good. So but one of the things we said, law enforcement too. I think that we need several programs that, because law enforcement agencies, the challenges they face is a completely different set of challenges sometimes than what a veteran may face.
Absolutely.
And some of the challenges to kind of like reframe your strength and purpose once you either come home from a deployment or time in service or a shift in the community, whatever that may looks like, they're going to look different when you're talking about a veteran to a law enforcement officer.
Well, and also the unfortunate part is too, with breaking the silence, the aftermath, right, is also the loved ones having to deal with law enforcement as well, because of their family member in a situation, which I am so grateful that I got to meet you coming from all the way from Utah. You came to in February, and at the Invisible Wounds Poker Run, which hopefully you'll be there again next year, March 20th. But Janaea, those don't know you yet, as far as from this podcast, but you have a story that ties and connects into this specifically, as a family member, as a mom who's lost a son, who was a Marine, correct?
Yes.
Excuse me, is a Marine.
Yes.
Once a Marine, always a Marine. That's the one thing that I always remember. But because we're going to talk about your post mission of what you're doing now a little bit later in the second part of the show, but you having firsthand experience of what family members go through, as it relates to law enforcement. Like, what was some of your experience, if you don't mind sharing?
I mean, it was okay. We had,
take your time.
so we were actually in Florida, and we had someone do a wellness check on him. And that was at like 9 o'clock in the morning. And my stomach just sank. I see this police officer at my door. And she's like, he's not in trouble, just checking on him. And I just knew that something wasn't right. And it wasn't until about 15 hours later that we got them to go in the house to check on him.
Mm.
And so where was the disconnect? If you had already reached out for a wellness check, why did it take them 15 hours to actually, get inside
They
the
said
house?
because they couldn't prove that we were giving them permission, that the homeowner was actually giving them permission to go inside. And
Okay.
they said, do you have a friend or family member that can come over and check on him? And I'm sorry, not going to do that.
Right.
Not going to send my daughter in to check on her brother.
You got a comment, Janaea.
Oh, thank you, Kelly. So we finally got someone to open the door for them.
Mm.
And I had to make sure it was his best friend, that he promised me that he wouldn't go inside. And so then I watched them come out and tell him what was going on. And I knew, but it wasn't until about an hour later that they actually called and told us.
Mm.
Yeah. And so in the time, and what was the reaction time? So when you initially reached out to law enforcement to make this welfare check because you just felt something wasn't right, what did that time window look like?
It was actually a friend of his that did it. So I don't know when they called in, but they had so many of his friends calling in to do a welfare check that they finally called us back, and the chief agreed to let them go in without us home.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you'd already called and said, go in my house, I'm gonna tell you right now, like, there's an issue at my house, go in. We'll worry about what's going on later.
I'm like, here's the door code, go in, and they wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
So
that's
not the best, but I also have a brother-in-law who's a police officer, and I know they have certain rules and regulations they have to follow.
right.
So
And I will say personally, I don't tell people I'm about to say it and on here now, but I'm trained in crisis intervention,
Me
and
too.
I have honestly assisted local law enforcement on scene in several cases where unaliving or suicidal thoughts or actions were present. And what I noticed in that call is not at any fault to the law enforcement officer. They just weren't properly trained. And
yeah,
and they had so many restrictions and guidelines that they had to follow. Like
Yeah.
one of the biggest ones was we were already on scene and we told them, "Hey, so and so's in there. They're threatening their life with this, this, and this. This is how they're, and I was able to get that said person to relinquish all the weapons, but there was still a service pistol because they were a law enforcement officer.
hmm
And even though, we were there on scene, their friends that called in the welfare check were on scene. Law enforcement could not enter the home. They would not enter the home. And when they finally did enter the home, luckily we still had time to save the person. But you know how long it took us it took us 3 to 4 hours from being on scene for them to enter the house. Yeah,
wow,
I don't think it's a fault to the law enforcement officer. I think it's
Protocols
with
and stuff, probably.
the protocols and restrictions that they put on
yeah.
these officers. It determines how they respond.
I agree, and I would probably be a lot more upset about it if I thought it would have made a difference.
Right.
Right.
But I
You
don't
know,
think it would have, so it doesn't really matter.
you see some of these videos and things like that that get shared, and leaked and stuff, like body cam or even police car the camera footage where you actually see the officer who might have been a veteran or states that he's a veteran, and you hear the person just break down and cry and be like, they get him help, and he's like, I just want a hug, and it's like the pain and the pressure and the weight of the world in those moments where I felt like I don't belong here anymore, and then when I see moments like that get shared that weren't shared by the department or whatever, it's just, but when you see those instances, you're like, man, why can't everybody react that way? But also not everybody's like naturally gifted at reading situations or even how do I receive the help?
Well, there's so many and there's a difference. Like you'll see there's some law enforcement officers, the videos I watched where said person was on a bridge and they were about to jump off, and that law enforcement officer was trained well enough to get them close enough where they could pull them down and grab them. And even in the situations I've been in with law enforcement, you can tell the law enforcement officers want to do something, they just can't because of the restrictions. Like, because they would tell me over and over, look, I understand. I want to help. I want to go in so bad. Like, I understand what you're saying. I physically can't.
They may lose their job if they do, because it might be against but still from the human perspective, right? You're like, what if I could have went in 15 hours earlier?
Yeah.
It's, I don't know. It's tough, but like the more and more that I'm involved in this podcast, in this circle, differently from what I have in the past with helping veterans, like I just feel this endless urge to do more. And it's like, but how? Like how or where or when? And I already don't sleep enough as it is, but it's just,
it's overwhelming, all the things that need to be done for them. Like, where do you start?
Yeah. One, two, I think it's getting, talking to them so they understand that a lot of the things they're going through would have crushed a lot of people. Like there's this sense that they are weak because they're struggling so bad. But the reality of this is most people, those demons, the PTSD they're fighting, that would have crushed a lot of people a long time ago. Like their strength allowed them to continue fighting as long as it did.
Yeah.
Because we talk about this, and you kind of noticed, you've talked openly about, is it okay if we clearly say your son's name because it's in the title down there? So you clearly openly talked about how Bowden was before he joined, before he joined the service, and when he came home, and that difference in personality and action, right? And how the gap that you can feel from the service side when you come home, it feels like you're almost on a different planet. Like it and it shouldn't, because there should be more resources. And like Shawn just said, how can we do more? How can we give more so people don't feel this way? But the reality is, a lot of our warriors are feeling like when they come home, they're on an entirely different planet, and they feel separated and isolated, and like they're the only ones going through it.
I've had this thought lately that, because yes, veterans are going through something that nobody else is going through, but it's also very similar to a parent losing a child. People don't.
Right.
You feel like you're on a different planet. So I think also if you connect people who they may be going through something totally different, but the feeling's still the same.
Yeah.
Right.
Or it's similar, like the feelings that they have, because it's all the different stages and the different, like and like why not, like why not just talk to me, or why not, like what could I done more, right? But at the same time, just having somebody that's been through things similar
Right.
gives
Like,
you enough to be like, I'm not alone.
yeah, because it does feel very isolating. They're two different types of isolation. They're very different, but they're also very the same. And
Mm,
so understanding that going through this type of isolation is different, but it's also very similar to a lot of other people going through something similar, causing them to isolate as well.
Well,
yeah.
and here's the thing: want to be there for somebody, to understand somewhat of to how to be there for them. Your circumstances don't have to be similar.
Mm,
They
Hmm.
they could be far apart. No, somewhat the stories, the circumstances don't have to match up, and that's what I tell people. If you can just be there and help somebody, a lot of the time, if I'm feeling isolated, I'm not looking for somebody to who has my same experience. I'm just looking for somebody to listen. I'm
yeah.
looking for somebody who genuinely wants to listen and help and be there for me, so I don't feel so isolated. You know how
And
many
not
phone
judge, and not
right,
judge, like, right, like,
right.
so
Right.
do you think I want somebody to judge my big ass? Sorry, but when, you know, of like going, of the thoughts that I have of not wanting to be here or whatever, or you know,
Right.
I want to cry, but I also, as a man, I'm like, ah, man, I can't cry this, well, except for I do cry because I'm a big baby, um,
I don't cry.
at all, and it's okay. Like, actually, at our wedding, I cried. My wife really didn't, but I think she did a little bit because I did. But you know, what about the family members who are going through this, or the veteran who's gone through
Hmm.
this and maybe survived, or hasn't gotten to that point yet? Why can't we normalize,
Hmm.
that them being able to just go to a safe space in essence,
Right.
right? And just act out on whatever feelings they're having of
Hmm.
aggression, rage, crying, and tears, emotions, and not be judged,
Right. Well,
and
and
have those crash out moments that's safe.
and we look at that, and we're talking about these people that feel stuck, right? Like I just want to say it's not an accident that you're still here. It's not an accident you're still here. You carried the strength through, and I'm even talking to family members like Janaea. You have already survived situations that most people will never understand. And I think I speak for you, and I don't want to do that, but you wouldn't want someone to have to feel this pain,
Yep.
but you've already survived these situations that most people will never understand. They the moments, the moral injuries, you know, the different, you trying to restructure your identity after losing your son, and doing so to the point where you created an organization to help people.
Yeah.
And that's really huge here. And this is what I say, and we want to, if you're listening and you're struggling and you feel like you're isolated and you're just out up there by yourself, right? Your survival didn't happen because you're weak. We've already said this. It's happened because deep down inside of you there is strength. And even if you don't see that strength or feel that strength, it's there because you're still here. And our family members, that's more the case than ever, because Janaea could have given up. She could have folded. She could have
And become
just,
a part of the statistics herself
yeah,
as
because
a
the
family
mother,
member.
yeah, the mothers that lose children they carry twice, they're twice as likely to die by suicide after losing a child. But you didn't let, I'm pretty sure those thoughts entered there during your grief, but you never let those thoughts win. And and now you have Bowden's brigade that's helping so many other people.
And
Yep.
we're definitely, we've got 15 minutes and we're gonna take a break. But like, I'm very, very excited, just to continue to learn more about, the direction of Bounds Brigade and you and the growth that you've had. And also, like, even before then, there's other moms and stuff that are out there still struggling too. And grief is one of those things that you never know when it's going to come.
Yep.
Like, you can have a great day and then,
Mhm.
or it can just be a day and weeks of full of just pain.
And it's important. And when, like, Janaea and anyone else, like when I've, like, even you, Shawn, when I'm used to talking to you every so often, and there goes like a window where I don't hear anything from you, I still send the text. I still, even though if I don't get a response, I still say, hey, thinking of you, hoping you're okay, like just checking on you, because that's really important.
And he
Because
does.
yeah, and I try to, because there's going to be days, even on our side, where you just don't feel like yourself. And isolation comes and comes and goes in times that we don't expect. We can't plan for it. We can't plan, if you've lost a warrior to suicide, you can't plan for when the waves of grief are going to come.
Let
And
me ask you both a question on this. And actually, I'm glad you said that, because my curiosity, it gets to me a lot, right? But on those days when you don't feel like yourself, or just the weight is too much, do either one of you all actually tell your other person that you're not in a good headspace, or you're just struggling? Do you all ever share that? Because I know I share that with mine.
I'm guilty of, I try to do better, but I'm like I'm the component always trying to help people and trying to be there for people and running these podcasts and trying to reach so many people. And I need to do better about that, of, saying, hey, I'm just not okay today. Cause it's, there's nothing wrong with saying that to your significant other. And
You got called out. No, he does not. So yes.
I will put this up there, because I just said that I need to do better. I don't hide anything here. I don't hide anything, right? I I guess I don't want to, and I'm sorry. I'm saying this to her because I should be better about that, right? But I just don't want to put. She already does so much around this house and with these animals and in this household. Sometimes I feel like I would burden her, or I don't know, and it's not. It's not right. I
Okay,
definitely
so I'm
should.
going to ask you what my therapist asked me. Does she tell you that it's a burden for you to tell her?
No, she wants me to tell her.
Then there you
So
go.
so how about this? I'm going to say this, and it's going to come off in the most asinine way. Don't be a typical man. And it's okay, James, to let your wife know that you're not having a good day, because it's our responsibility in any relationship to be 100% with each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
And
when I can't be 100%,
yeah,
I need to let my wife know, and she's going to pick up that other percentages that I'm not.
yeah, yeah. I guess it's self reflection for me. With the live audience, that I need to do better. That it's okay to talk to your spouse when you're not feeling okay, or even your spouse, your friends. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be a spouse. It could be your best friend. It could be it could be your sister, your brother. It just needs to be someone you trust, that is going to listen to you. And we need to normalize it's okay to tell those that we're not okay.
Yeah. And so Rich is like, I don't tell anybody. They make me talk. Look, I will haunt Rich. I'll be like, dude, what's wrong? Like, I can tell, I see it. Like, there's something going on, or I, my wife's just, I'm so lucky. I really am very, very lucky that I have the love of my life that just has put up with so much from me, and
Amen.
just wants the
Ditto.
best for I mean, wants the best for me.
Yep. Yeah.
I was gonna say my answer to that is I tell him because he'll fix it. Like,
Right.
I mean, I don't know what else to say, but I know that if I tell him, he'll
Right.
fix it or make it better somehow. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so will mine.
John Ring says he loves us and can't wait to see us next Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll put that back up there. Thanks, John.
But here's the other thing. I've started getting to the point where if my daughter calls me and she hears, she's like, "What's going on?" And I'll be like, I never thought I would tell my kids that I'm struggling,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it helps them too to know that even though I am Superman, that
There's also
kryptonite-
some kryptonite.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's our comments.
Okay, but Jessica calling him out on it is different than just encouraging him. So I know you probably encourage him to say and talk, and I tell him to quit being a little punk and talk, but
you can't use the words on here. Well, you could. You could, but
but what I like seeing, guys, is we're talking about this, right? And I hope we're encouraging people to step outside the norm of what they've always done, because guess what? What you always done doesn't mean that it's always right.
Right. Well, and this is part of reframing your strength, right? This is part of reframing your strength and your identity by confiding in those closest to you that you're not okay or something's off. You're building that bridge with them that I need to definitely do a lot, because when we don't want to take these loved ones for granted. Like when I talk about my wife, I know I married up. I know I got lucky. I understand that. And she is a true blessing, but we can't take our family members like that for granted. The ones that they'll be there for you no matter what you tell them. I mean, on your worst day, they will sit right next to you and say, "Hey, I'm going through this with you." Like, and no judging. They won't look. They're not going to look at you in any different kind of way. They're just going to sit there with you and help you.
Yeah, but see, here's also the best thing about this. I encourage people, when you're having those bad days, sit with it for a little bit. Understand, acknowledge it, and then figure out what we're going to do next to get out of it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and then we have the comment here, the "I'm fine" comment. We're all. I mean, if you can't say you're guilty of using that comment, then I mean we're all guilty of it.
I use it, but mostly when it's like, it's not if I'm like having a rough day. It's just I only really use it when he makes me mad. And I don't want to talk to him.
So if you ever tell me you're fine, I know I done made you mad.
It's her warning statement, basically.
So what if he said, "Just calm down, take a breath"?
Right. Right.
I've got a vocabulary that I can't use on here that I'm very fluent in.
So is my wife. We're just gonna say that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's look, I'm actually glad we kind of did what I accused James of doing and going off topic, right? But it still fits with the episode tonight, and it fits kind of with what we're talking about here in what we laid out from a plan perspective. But sometimes the best plans or the best actions come from a plan that is got some loose parameters, but still serves the same purpose. Everybody doesn't have to take the same road.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I don't know. I learn more and more. One of the biggest takeaways, I think, from aligning yourself with people who actually care about you and share the same mission with you is the more I'm around Shawn, the more, even Janaea. Last year I was given the great opportunity to go to Utah and spend some time with Janaea, and she was out, fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I had a great time. I make the joke with her all the time that the only thing I didn't like was the airport in Salt Lake City, but other than that, everything else was great.
I've only ever had a layover in Salt Lake, but
oh, it's not the best. It's not conducive. It's just like a 1.5 mile walk. Oh, okay, there she is.
Sorry, I must not have very good internet.
Oh, it's fine. Did you hear us what we were talking about the?
I heard that you came.
Yeah. I came up to Salt Lake City, got to spend some time with you and your husband. Yeah, that damn walk, absolutely. The Salt Lake City, Utah, that airport is when
you get your steps in.
Yeah, it's not all a flat walk either. It's upstairs, downstairs, up, down for like 1.5 miles. It is yeah.
You know, I was going to tell you, John made an amazing comment. I'm going to post it here so we can kind of talk about it real quick. But, you know, we're talking about having those people in the judgments and such and non-judgments. I'm going to put this up here, but I called different people for different needs based on how I'm feeling and what I need in that moment. It's important to know your network of support. That's kind of like what I was saying, right? If there was a way for us to also be able to learn our issues, and I don't want to say triggers because I think it's overused, right? But the nuances of our behaviors, right? Because they do build patterns. But if we could recognize that and be able to say, this is what I need to do right now. I need to go destroy something, hit a punching bag, get some physical aggression out so I can feel the emotional aspect of it, the weight, or I need to cry, or I need to like disconnect somehow from my brain so I can come back when I'm in a better headspace to say, okay, I'm processing this now. I've acknowledged I went there. I'm developing, I'm going through my plans and my steps. I think that's something that we need to kind of encourage and kind of figure out how do we help people do that?
Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening, Bob.
Yeah, absolutely. Your example tonight might be the moment someone else realizes they can rise to. I've always said that the example that our families set, and just those with strength, and when it's I guess it really is when you see someone else do it, you feel more confident in your ability to do it as well. Because hey, you create that analogy where if they can do it, why can't I do it? Go ahead.
Yeah, if one person can do it, that means it's possible for other people. And it doesn't have to be the same method.
Yeah.
But all three of us right here have very similar and different lived experiences.
Correct.
And guess what? There is somebody out there that's going to be able to connect with one of us.
Absolutely. You know, and you never know when you're the person somebody needs. You know how many phone calls I've taken where someone was just devastated, and after that conversation, was it a magical fix? No. Was there still isolation there? Sure, but they didn't feel it wasn't so much isolation where they felt the world was against them.
Right.
You know, they felt they had some kind of support. And I think a lot of this stuff goes just establishing support as quick as you can when someone's not themselves, when they're not okay, goes a long way. And when we say support, you don't have to be a trained therapist. You don't have to you don't have to go above and beyond. You just need to listen to them and let it's just so they feel comfortable with you, you are saying, hey, no, you're not alone. I'm here to listen to you. What's going on? You know, you don't have to make empty promises. You don't have to act like something you're not. Just be yourself, be genuine, and just be there for them. And that's huge for people.
All right, it is that time. We are at the middle of our show, and what we're going to do is we're going to take about a 7-minute break.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you this. what you're about to listen to and see is very powerful. So I want you just to take the time to kind of focus on the lyrics of this. And it kind of talks a lot about like what we're doing as organizations and how we utilize our purpose to make other people's lives a little bit brighter.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So,
and we're gonna come right back after this commercial break. Rich, Mr. Audio Engineer, you got us down there. All right, I got a thumbs up. So yeah, y'all enjoy this commercial break, and we're gonna be right back with Janaea.
An anthem of service, honor, and brotherhood. We wore different boots, walked different roads, carried our share of heavy loads, but the oath we took didn't disappear. When the uniform got hung up here, we learned that battles don't always end. When you finally make it back home again, some wars get quiet, some wounds don't show, and sometimes your brothers are the only ones who know. So we made a promise, simple and true. If you're still fighting, we're fighting with you. Hanging on a wall, it's answering again when somebody calls. Different ways to serve, but the reason's the same. Stand beside our veterans and remember their names, 'cause the mission ain't over when the uniform's gone. We still carry each other, we still carry on to service and honor through the hurt and the scars. We remind one another who the hell we are, from a seat at the table to a hand reaching out, to a voice through the speaker saying, we're gonna talk about it now. As long as one veteran is fighting alone, the mission ain't over till we bring them home. Shawn found a calling down by the waterline. Nautical salute became another front line, building community, giving veterans a place where nobody has to hide what they're trying to face. Rich keeps the smoke rolling, fire burning low. At Combat Kitchen, there's something veterans know, that food brings us together when the words are hard to find, and a meal between brothers can quiet a troubled mind. And James looks up to that endless blue for the heroes in the sky and the families who knew the cost of service, the sacrifice and pain, making damn sure we never forget a name. 3 different missions, but the heartbeat's one. Honor those we've lost and fight for everyone who's carrying a battle they don't know how to explain. Sometimes all it takes is someone who understands the pain. The mission ain't over when the uniform's gone. We still carry each other, we still carry on through service and honor, through the hurt and the scars. We remind one another who the hell we are, from nautical salute to the kitchen's flame, to heroes in the sky keeping alive every name. As long as one veteran is fighting alone, the mission ain't over till we bring them home. Then 3 chairs pull up and the microphones glow. No polished answers, just the truth that we know. Shawn, Rich, and James sitting side by side, talking about the things veterans learn to hide. We talk about the good days, we talk about the bad, about brothers that we miss and the battles that we had. We talk about coming home and party you never did, about the pain behind the laughter and the things we've kept hid. Sometimes we raise hell, sometimes we disagree, sometimes the room gets quiet over somebody's memory. But somewhere there's a veteran driving down a road, listening to 3 brothers saying, you don't have to carry this alone. Because we stood at too many funerals, we've folded too many flags, we've watched too many fails. beside them while they're still here. So pull up a chair, grab a plate, come down to the water, turn on the show, tell us your story. You don't have to pretend here, you don't have to be okay here, you just have to stay. Shawn keeps building the community, Rich keeps feeding the soul, James keeps honoring the heroes and the stories that must be told. Then three brothers grab those microphones and send one message across the air. If you're struggling tonight, there are still people who care. The mission ain't over when the uniform's gone. We're still brothers and sisters and we're still standing strong. Through service and honor we'll answer the call, and when one of us stumbles we carry them all. From nautical salute where belonging begins, to combat kitchen breaking bread among friends, to heroes in the sky where their memories live on, to three voices behind microphones saying, brother, hold on. We will serve, we will listen, we will remember their names. We will stand in the darkness and help carry the pain. No veteran forgotten, no story untold, no brother or sister left out in the cold. Because service isn't something we did, it's who we are. Honor isn't something we wore, it's how we live. And brotherhood doesn't end when the uniform comes off. So until every veteran knows they've still got somewhere to go, until every veteran knows they've still got something to give, until every veteran knows their story isn't finished, the mission ain't over, and neither are we.
Oh, I'm muted.
That
I love that.
that video just does so much. It shows all of the community that stood behind us this entire time, all of the outstanding opportunities I've had to travel and honor warriors lost to suicide, honor their families with camaraderie.
Yeah.
With Janaea being one of them, that trip to Salt Lake City, and the battle. We do have a battle vest up in Utah, so it's just seeing where we started, where we've came from, and all the people that were instrumental in getting just to here, so we can have this outreach, is huge.
It's awesome.
So this second half is definitely going to highlight you.
Yes.
And it's also going to highlight the awesome work that you're doing, and the impact that you're having. And I'm excited. I think that's the best word I can actually say, is I'm just excited to continue to grow with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's come really fast, and it's been one of those things that I've had to kind of take. I don't know. It's a lot.
Yeah. I remember the conversations you and I had just sitting in, either at dinner, or we were at the car club, or just, and I remember saying that, when Heroes in the Sky started, I never envisioned it to take off as fast as it did, and just to shoot, just like, it's like a blink of an eye, and we've got a podcast with so many people, and interview series, and we have made so many connections with organizations like Bowden's Brigade, Nautical Salute, Combat Kitchen, Vet Legacy, Walk for Vets. Like, it's magical for me.
SFH, like
SFH. There's so many, we can't even list them all. Crafty Casey's that does all our merch. And then and I'm sorry if I'm forgetting you. We the People, thank you. There's just so many. There's so many people that's been instrumental to where we are now, that it's hard to mention everybody, but we definitely notice you and recognize you, and we're grateful, because we couldn't do this without you. And I know I couldn't do this without Shawn and, Janaea and Rich and all the people that just make this a possibility for me. And I thank you.
And actually, I think the four of us, to include Rich, I think we all met on TikTok.
We did. Yes.
That's the
Yes.
crazy part of it, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's TikTok.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And Patricia Mayo, I'm going to put her comment back up here. She has always been a supporter of ours. She's the co-host for the 99% Radio Network podcast that they run over there with John Salerno. Thank you, Patricia. She's always been there for us. I mean, let's get into it because, like I said, we could go on all day about how grateful I am of people that got us here.
Yep.
But the real story here is the young lady sitting in front of us, her courage to not fold when she did lose her son tragically, and that decision to continue serving others when she didn't have to. So before, she starts opening up, we ask our audience to just give her the strength, the courage, and to know that she is so valued here. And we want to hear your story.
Absolutely.
Okay. What would you like to know?
How about let's just start off with let's honor your son first and tell him why you started Bowden's Brigade.
So I started Bowden's Brigade in honor of my son, who joined the Marines right out of high school during COVID, and he loved every minute of it. And then he got injured, and he got medically discharged, and it just, best way I can put it is it destroyed him. It took everything that he wanted to do and everything he wanted to be, and told him he wasn't good enough, basically. And so I just wanted to do something to help veterans and their families with that transition from military life to civilian life. And like we talked about earlier, I would love to figure out how to help educate families so they know how to help their veterans. They know how to recognize those signs, things to say, things not to say, things like that. But it's overwhelming because there's so much that you see that needs to be done. You have to kind of pick and hope someone else picks the other stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, so our goal is to do things to help them stay in a positive mental health space so they don't begin to spiral, and we can prevent suicide instead of just bringing awareness to it.
So one of the things that I know that we're trying to do, I've already started writing the program itself. But one thing that I think that your organization, and I mean, it's going to be all of us doing it anyways together, just because of where, just how intricate we are with each other's missions and how much we support each other. But there needs to be a training / decommissioning of our soldiering, right? And our being a Marine and in that identity, but also for the families too. So I think that as the service member comes back, right, you get a few months where I'm out, it's the best, right? But then you start analyzing, okay, I really don't have anybody else other than the people that are immediately here, and I don't connect with them in the same way because they didn't do what I did. I literally was talking to a sergeant first class today, active duty, and another sergeant first class who we all shared the same sandbox a little bit at different times. And I asked him, because I'll ask James, and we do this all the time. We'll just be like, raise your hand if you have more than 2 friends. And the vets will be like, no. Yeah. Or how many friends, how small has your circle gotten since you've gotten out? I'm finding more and more, even the active duty members, as they start transitioning, getting ready to go on their terminal leave, they've already been disconnected from their platoons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the isolation starts there.
Yep. And we
And
got
like
some.
for my
Yep.
son, he left early, so everybody he was in with was still in. He really had nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, no matter what it is, if you were a seasoned veteran that's been in 15, 20 years, if you had an early discharge due to injury or for whatever it may be, if you're a first responder in high risk units, whatever those are, whatever front lines you served on, we feel like we're alone when we come home. But I think the reality of what we need to start talking about is you have already proven to yourself, to your community, to those around you that you can perform and survive in chaotic environments, and you are strong for that. But often the times the feeling we get when we come home and feel isolated is the opposite. Oh, I'm weak, I can't take this, I can't do this. And I think that's just because we need to learn more about how talk about our feelings, like build a trust group around us. And yes, there needs to be some kind of training programs or some kind of blueprint. That's my pet peeve about this whole thing is I served 10 years. They knew 6 months, but they knew I was medically retiring 6 months, 8 months out.
Yep.
You know, even when in your retention NCOs, they know the soldiers who aren't reenlisting. They know this 6 to 8. I don't know, and I'm not going to say 6 to 8 months and misspeak, but they know in advance who's not staying in and who's going to get out. This is where these resources come in.
Now, in a perfect world, Janaea, how do you think Bowden's Brigade can help develop that piece of it for the families?
Like in a perfect world, I think that there should be an organization or somewhere that when someone is coming home, they have somewhere to check in. They have a resource place to check in and been provided those things for job services, things like that, to make sure that they're getting on a good track and being successful with the things that are going on. And having that kind of like check in. It's almost like you go from a 9 to 5. This is my interpretation of things because I am not a veteran, but it seems like it's almost like you go from a strict 9 to 5 job where you have a supervisor tells you what to do, and then all of a sudden you're an I-9 employee or whatever it is, and you're on your own. You're your own boss, and all of a sudden you're drowning. You don't know what to do, and help prevent that.
Well, especially too, you said it. You know, when these you're getting out of the military, transitioning from that uniform to civilian life, it almost feels like the rug's been pulled up underneath your feet because you lose that identity and purpose and structure, and
Mhm.
it doesn't make it any easier the longer you've been in the service because now you've been conditioned for 10 to 15 years that they're going to tell me where to be, what to wear. They're going to give me
What to eat.
what to eat, step-by-step instructions for 10 to 15 years. And even in Bowden's case, that's all he wanted to do. Like he
Mhm.
wanted to be in the Marines. He wanted to serve this country. And they ripped that out from underneath his feet. So I can imagine how quickly he felt alone.
And I think
Yeah.
because these organizations, the military, right? They're so everybody, yeah, hoorah. Like the Marines are the few, the proud, right?
Mhm.
They are the smallest organization of all of DoD. But even the Marine Corps, as small in numbers compared to the others that they still are disconnected, like every other branch is, on how to effectively train or detrain or retrain a service member leaving, and because they're still in, so they don't even know what it's like to be a civilian, right?
Yeah.
And give up that identity, or have that identity taken away from and stripped from somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But they do rely on certain programs that have been approved through TAP and other stuff, where they bring the 75-year-old USARR like whatever member in to say, hey, sign up for $26 a year and you can be a member of this fraternity. And okay. And
I've always said I wish we had the grants. I wish we had the financial funding and sources to be an organization like that, where we had the funding where I could partner with the bases around me and go in and just and identify those soldiers who were getting out, that were not being retained, and just start a conversation with them and connect them to resources. Hello, Ginger. Hey, and then connect them to resources that they're going to need, like she was saying, more in-depth job searches. How to file your own taxes, mental health resources around you, so when you get out, who takes TRICARE. If you don't have TRICARE, if you have a commercial insurance, who offer VA, Champ VA, who offers marriage counseling. If because you don't think there's going to be a hard train. That's tough if a service member is married and then they're getting out of the military. Now they have to navigate that tough situation with a spouse or a partner. Like, these are things we could give these young warriors in advance. Like we said, we made a comment earlier. A lot of these efforts need to be preventive, not reactive.
Well, and might be a bad comparison, so bear with me, but it's almost, I mean, like, we give people getting out of prison and stuff a halfway house, and parole officers that are there to help them make sure that they're getting on the right track. Okay, granted, I wouldn't call it that, but basically the same thing. Give them those resources so that they can have that
the
successful
fob.
transition.
It's
Yes.
the fob. It's what we're working to build.
Mm-hmm.
Call it a veteran resource center, right? The fob. Everybody that's affiliated with the military knows fob stands for forward operating base, right? They're operating outside of the norm. But we're also twisting that a little bit, focusing on belonging, because you have to train the trainers.
Mm-hmm.
And what that looks like, and what does successful transition look like, what does support networks look like, what is education, what is true to the grit suicide prevention training look like.
Mm-hmm.
Not let's just all, oh gosh, here we got to do it again twice a year, online and in person, let's make fun of it. Like, I mean, I'm being honest, right? Like,
Right.
Well, right. Well, I've been coming up to Florida at least once a quarter, sometimes multiple. That's something I would highly enjoy if the fob was operational, where we could come in and give some training like that, like to the family members. And have that a part of the program.
Going to be that is going to be very much a part of the program, right? Not just the service member.
Yeah, the family.
The family is the absolute most important part to any veteran success.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And here, you know why? And here, let's make this point right now. Families are the ones that inherit that generational grief and trauma and pain when a service member is lost. So
they're also the ones that take the brunt of the bullshit.
Yep, and we should be talking to them as well, to give them the toolkit that they need to navigate grief and establish an identity and a purpose that Janaea has done successfully, but I'm pretty sure it was tough for her.
Well, it's like I had no idea what to expect when he came home. I honestly thought he'd come home a little bit more mature, a little bit more world experience. He wasn't gone that long. I did not think that he was the boy that I hugged and who got on the bus. That was the last time I was going to see my son. And so, yeah, those tools would be valuable.
Yeah.
And we also have to remember that there's, like Kelly even said, having a toolbox, right? You're not going to use the same tool for every job.
Yep.
And that's for the family too. That's for the moms, the dads, the brothers, the sisters, it's yep, there you go. You need a toolbox. That toolbox
Absolutely.
has to be armed with some of the most dangerous tools too,
Yes.
in a good way, right?
Yep.
Like when I say dangerous, I mean something that's going to make you go, "Holy crap!"
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. You got to bring home reality. You know, you're not people
Yeah.
don't people don't get serious about stuff about prevention and training until it really hits home, until it means something.
Yeah,
And that's what we're trying to do. You know, we with the ceremonies we do, we have that aspect where I'm fully aware that I'm going to upset people. I'm fully aware that I'm going to have at least 1 to 2 people come up to me and say that they're not happy with what I said or for whatever it may be. But I've still got them to listen to me. I've still got them to hear a very difficult conversation and message. And that
yeah,
some of these conversations need to be in our toolkit because all these conversations aren't going to be positive. There are going to be times where you need to have some resource or somebody in your toolkit that, like John Ring said, that you call when things are at their absolute worst.
yeah,
You need to have that person in your toolkit, people, whoever they are. They need to be there.
yeah,
Yep.
and not be afraid to actually use it.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I'm raising my hand right here. I'm just as guilty as everybody else.
Yeah, but we're very fortunate. We are also blessed. We have an opportunity, and it's on the back of my shirts, on the Freedom Fighter shirts. You have an opportunity. You've got to fight today for an opportunity to fight tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And we're here. We're fighting today. We're not fighting for tomorrow. We're fighting for today in this moment.
Yep.
Yep.
And the positive impact. I just want to highlight this. The courage that Janaea had to come on the show today and open up about her loss speaks volumes to families that may be experiencing the same traumatic loss. And we're giving people hope. And that's the goal here, is to provide some kind of hope that even though that is a tragic loss, there are other people that have dealt with that loss and they are making a difference, and you can too.
It loss is one of those things that we cherish and hold on to oftentimes the most positive pieces of them, right? And depending on how long they were here with us,
Mm-hmm.
it's also important to recognize the struggling times that they had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what allows us to start seeing connections with other people, other things, other situations, to where, hey, I might not have seen this in the moment. I think we talked about this on the last show. I might not have seen it right now, but when sometimes we stop and you get that little nag that's like, what am I missing? Or what did I miss? You can start going back to the little fragments, right? And be like, huh, that was different. And
Yeah.
but see, that key identifier, that might actually be something that saves somebody else.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
Looking back, I can see different teeny tiny signs that you look and you're like, oh, if I had only known.
Yeah. And it sucks because it's like now you're armed with other tools of awareness and things that somebody, but in order to share things, we have to go through things.
Yep.
And that's the crappy part about life.
mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
I wish I could take the pain away for everybody. But now I have to be able to utilize that tool to say, hey, don't ignore the little gut feelings or the little nagging nuances. Don't ignore it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
don't be afraid to just ask the hard questions.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. And then so you've got John Ring down here. He joined that club just like you did as well. He lost his son as well this past January.
I'm so
John
sorry.
John has done so much for our community. He's actually the co-host for Deterrence Through Truth, and I've known John for 6-7 years. And yeah, he says, "I commend your at 6-7. I commend your strength. Thank you." Right, but this comment should
Yeah.
the more we share their stories and these stories of just we got to share stories of triumph, but we also need to share stories of struggle because we just never know who's, like you said, who's going to see this and who's going to need it. And we may just impact somebody's lives today.
Janaea, I'm going to share something with you. Last Saturday, old boy James Collins was with us. We were doing a seafood boil, and we decided, and actually Rich was like, let's take the battle vest. It's like, it's something that sits off to my rear in my office, right?
Yeah.
It was the battle vest 2204 that we were presented. And it's been It's been 21 years since I lost my first battle buddy. And I still couldn't make it through it.
Yeah.
And and to be honest, it also pisses me off.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I get overwhelmed with emotion thinking about it, but I'm also so angry. And it's like, it didn't have to come to this.
Yeah.
Yep.
But Lewis Tucker was on that battle vest, and there's a picture of him in the commercial video.
Yep.
And
8 days.
So, yeah.
8 days.
And so when that battle vest, when we created those, I did not ever think they would have the impact that they have. I mean, I did not know that. I created the battle vest, put one on TikTok, it blew up. And then we started, really dedicating them everywhere. And then the more and more I talk to families, the more I see that the impact that they're having, it lets me know that they're needed and that the hard work is worth it. But yeah, it does. Like I could see that. And I lost my best friend not to suicide, but he was murdered, right? I still get angry that he's not here helping me run this organization. I still get angry that he's not, someone said something a minute ago. It's like it's when you're at your worst, right? Heroes in the Sky was started because we were both struggling significantly with our transition out of the military, and we were there for each other when no one else was. And that's how it started. And now he's not here. And yeah, I'm angry. I'm very angry. So if I feel that level of anger, I can't imagine the level of anger Shawn feels of Battle Buddies lost to suicide, or Janaea feels, or John Ring feels. But I can see how that anger is real. I can see how it's very much real.
Well, when the plague, as I'm going to call it, it's not an epidemic, it's the plague, right? When we have to continue to bury our friends, and we're like, okay, it's now been another year and we've lost 3 more guys or girls,
Right.
to this plague, and we still haven't figured it out yet of how to stop it.
Right. What we need more. It's you've said it earlier that here's the thing. We just can't find enough resources to give these warriors in their toolkit to reduce these numbers instead of elevating the numbers.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating even working in this field to see how much I want the numbers to go down. Like how I wish I didn't have all these names to put on Battle Vest. how I wish these families didn't have to go through this trauma and this grief. But those numbers keep rising. And so we have to keep fighting. We have to keep fighting because one day we're going to make a difference, whether that's today or tomorrow. And it may just be a difference in one person's life.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question real quick, James. And this is a very, very important piece.
Okay.
How many warriors have you honored in the time that the organization?
172 warriors in a little under 2 years. Yes.
Now, we're gonna use your math real quick, which is the math that we use.
Here we go.
Times 5 family members.
Correct.
Okay.
Times 135.
Times 135.
Mm-hmm.
And how long have you been doing this?
2 years.
2 years.
So in 2 years,
mm-hmm.
well, let's just say officially in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
How long has it been since your first Battle Vest presentation?
Oh, Jesus. You're making me feel old. I don't remember the exact date, but the first Battle Vest presentation we ever did was in the Grunt Style outlet at Tanger in Pooler, Georgia. And so that had to have been close to that 2 year.
So let's say in 2 years, based on the numbers of 5 immediate family members affected and how many? 135 community members?
135.
So just from the warriors that you know of that are on the wall, on the plaque, as well as on those battle vests, 116,100 people have been affected. Wow. Just by the people that you have honored.
Yeah, that hits home. Yeah.
And I know we're getting close, but we're getting close to hitting our mark here, but really want to know what's next for Bowden's Brigade.
Yes.
I wish I completely knew the answer to that. I mean, we have a fundraising event September 12th. We're doing a casino night. So that should be fun. We were having veteran events every month, and then we lost our space. So we're still trying to get that put back together. I have a program that I help veterans purchase their home and then we cover their closing costs. So trying to get them into houses. And I don't know. We just kind of take it as it comes. And, if there's emergency services that need to be done or things like that, then we see how we can help.
Yeah. So for those listening and watching, who may watch this at some point, I know we've been sharing your information and stuff like that related to Bowden's Brigade. But if there's one thing that you absolutely need as an organization, what is it that we could help with?
That I need as an organization.
And it could also be for you and your journey.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be here for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think guidance with how to keep it going. Because it's a lot and I've never done it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm here for that anytime.
I appreciate that.
There's several organizations I'm helping right now with that same exact uncertainty, etc. So I've always told you from the beginning I was here. And there's one thing that happens with Shawn and I. The closer you get to us, you become family, and then you just get where you're just stuck.
Annoyed by us.
I'll take it. I'll take your phone calls as long as you don't get upset when I don't call back.
No, I don't. I don't. They're not for. They're not
we're up to like 7.
Yeah, they're not to solicit a response. They're only for you to know that I'm thinking of you.
And I appreciate it.
And you can respond back when you feel. When you feel ready. But that it's important for me. I do the same thing to Shawn. It's important for me to. Yeah. To at least reach out and call and let you know I'm thinking of you, even though if you aren't in the best space or you can't reply back, at least you know I'm thinking of you and somebody's there. So because I appreciate when people do that to me.
Well,
Yeah.
it means a lot. So just so you know, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, we are getting close to the end here, and
Yes.
I think it would be appropriate to close out with our sponsors, who are our title sponsors, as well as the other sponsors that we've got for the
Yep.
episodes, and then we've got a nice video to kind of close us out, and then obviously Janaea, after it's done, just stick around a little bit because we'll stay behind a
Okay.
little bit and kind of just do a recap with each other,
Mhm.
and great episode tonight, guys.
Awesome.
Always,
Thank you for having me.
always love having you around and talking to you. And remember, you two are not alone. And I'm gonna, James, always, you might as well get ready to close this piece of it out that you always do. How you do it.
So we have to end with this before I hit the sponsors. We ask you the question. The scenario is it's 2 or 3 in the morning and somebody stumbles across this video on YouTube and they're feeling alone, they're feeling isolated, they feel like they don't belong. What do you tell them?
Who first?
Let's go with Janaea.
Oh my goodness.
If she answers her phone. I'm just kidding.
This is so serious.
Yeah.
There's a lot of spam calls. What can I say? I don't know. Like, I would see if they need me to come get them, if they need what they need, and see if there's somebody that I could call to connect them with. I mean, it just really depends on their situation, but I would try and connect them with somebody that could help them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not good with mental health stuff. Like, you get sarcasm and swear words with me, but I can connect you with people that.
Most veterans, that's how they communicate.
So
Yep.
yeah, sometimes, like, you know.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
we're big on dark humor in this family.
And most veterans will absolutely understand that and probably
Yeah.
feel a little more comfortable being around it.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. So I'm going to go now and answer the question.
Absolutely.
I was waiting to see if he was going to take it or if he wanted me to. What I would tell you guys is, number one, you're not alone. And it's not weak to ask for help. Me at 6'4", 280 pounds, I had to learn to humble myself enough to say that it's okay to ask for help. And and if somebody wants to judge me for that, then they are not needed in my life in that regards. They don't get that piece of me. So just don't be afraid to reach out, be vulnerable with the right people, and just trust your gut when you feel like you need help.
Absolutely. And I always close this out with the reasons why we do what we do. Because, while we serve, you serve to protect yourself, your family, those you love the most. And you want to shield them from anything you can, your children, your kids, your spouse, right? Well, you need to think about that when you're contemplating suicide, because when you die by suicide, you're transferring a lot of generational grief and trauma and emotions to your family who are left to carry that. And no one was ever prepared or to handle that much grief at one time. And so when you die by suicide, you're putting your family, you're transferring a lot of grief to them, the ones that you love the most, the ones you swore to protect. So if I would tell you anything, remember that if you're contemplating suicide, you're in a dark place, just know your family is going to receive all that generational grief, probably for the entirety of their life, if you choose to make this decision. So stay another day. Absolutely. Yeah. So that ends the episode. We had a fantastic episode. Janaea, hang tight. We will close out with our sponsors and with the video. I just want to say, in the audience, we had 38 comments come through tonight. Okay, That is awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much for supporting us, watching us, interacting with us. It means the world. Please keep it up. Please share, like. Next episode, let's try to get 40 or 50 comments. We love y'all. Thank you so much. Yeah. And then, so we do want to thank the American Legion again. They are our title sponsors this year. American Legion Post 135. They're located in historic downtown Savannah at 1108 Bull Street. They are a member of the largest veteran service organization in the nation, and they were founded on the principles of service to our veterans and to our community, state, and nation. Their membership is open to any veteran who has served honorably and to active duty service members. They are home to the local 1110, Betty Bombers, Brighter Day, Centennial Bean, and Lee Chai, and their bar is always open to the public. They hold several events in the ballroom each year, which is available for rent. So if you're looking for a fantastic event space in a beautiful downtown Savannah, Georgia, go talk to our friends at the American Legion. Tell them your friends at Heroes in the Sky sent you. We have a few realtors that make this possible for us as well. Annie Montenegro with Rawls Realty, and Mari Bennett with Realty One Group Inclusion. Mari is actually the title sponsor for Deterrence Through Truth, so you learn a lot more about her on that interview episode series. But we honestly have so many people, we can't thank everybody. That title, the slide we put up in the commercial video, I tried to put up there to just show everyone who has an influence in what we do. So if you're listening, we love each one of you. And if you're looking for an opportunity to join or an opportunity to support and help outreach, or just get your name out there and help these outreach efforts for our families, email James at heroesinthesky.org or Shawn at heroesinthesky.org and let us know if you want a sponsorship opportunity, or if you want to see your logo in that top corner of the screen. We'd love to have you. So I'm gonna I think our audio engineer has checked out for the night, so I will end us with our outro video. Any last words from anybody?
No, just as always, appreciate you.
All right. Well, thank you both for being here. Thank you everybody for listening. Thank you everybody for the 38 comments. Please like, share, follow. We really appreciate you, and we can't wait to see you next time. We do film every second and fourth Thursday. Our times are changing. I did want to put that out there. Typically, we would film at 7:30. We are changing to 8. So now every second and fourth Thursday, starting at 8 p.m., we will go live.
8 or 8:15.
8 or 8:15.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that time frame. No later than 8:15. So new time. We hope you still follow us. And I'm about to end us out.
I used to think healing was supposed to sound heroic, like victory speeches, like medals hitting a wooden table, like somebody finally saying, "You made it." But healing sounded more like silence, like sitting in the truck too long after work, because home felt safer when the engine was still running. Like staring at a grocery store aisle, trying to remember why your heart suddenly started racing. Like waking up at 2:13 in the morning, sweating through memories you never asked to keep. See, they trained us to survive the battlefield, but nobody really taught us how to survive ourselves afterward. Nobody talked about how trauma follows you home wearing civilian clothes, how it hides in fireworks, crowded rooms, empty bottles, divorce papers, missed phone calls, and the sentence, "I'm fine." Especially that sentence. I know veterans who carried entire teams on deployment, but struggle to carry groceries inside the house now. Men and women who could navigate chaos overseas but can't navigate their own thoughts when the room gets quiet. And still, they wake up. Still, they fight. That matters. You hear me? That matters. Because hope isn't always loud. Sometimes hope is just making the appointment, answering the phone, talking for the first time, saying, "No, I don't think I'm okay." That's courage too. Maybe even the purest kind. See, the world loves the image of the warrior, but healing asks something harder. It asks the warrior to become human again, to let people in, to trust again, to stop apologizing for wounds nobody can see. And that process, it's ugly sometimes. There are setbacks, bad nights, anger that shows up uninvited, days where depression feels heavier than body armor ever did. But there are also moments, small moments, where light gets through. A kid's laugh, a sunrise after a sleepless night, brothers and sisters sitting around a table finally telling the truth, a stranger saying, "Me too." That's where healing begins. Not in pretending the trauma never happened, but in realizing the trauma doesn't get to write the ending. You survived war. You survived loss. You survived becoming someone you barely recognized. Now comes the hardest mission of all, believing you deserve peace too. And maybe peace doesn't mean forgetting. Maybe peace is learning that your scars are not proof you're broken. They're proof you kept going. So to every veteran still fighting battles nobody sees, you're not weak for needing help. You are not forgotten. And your story, it is not over.